A red supercar roars down the street, instantly drawing the attention of passing students. As the car stops, Shen Yuan steps out. Whispers spread among the students, noting how effortlessly he switches between luxury cars. When the passenger door opens, revealing a stunning woman in red dress, a group of students observes with frustration. One of them complains about Shen Yuan's unbelievable luck. He has just entered college yet is already involved with one of the most attractive second-year students from the prestigious flight attendant class. More students start gossiping about Shen Yuan's luck. Some bitterly remark that being rich and attractive gives him an unfair advantage in choosing a partner. Another student complains that he doesn't just have an advantage, he dominates the dating scene, with countless first-year girls already infatuated with him. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan walks confidently down the path with a beautiful woman by his side. From a balcony, two female students watch with envy. One regrets hesitating to make a move, wondering if she still has a chance. The other, more determined, insists that success comes from effort and not to let someone else steal the opportunity. Shen Yuan glances back with a knowing smirk. Shen Yuan's life of luxury, once the envy of many, comes to an abrupt end during his junior year of college. His family's business, 3 travel agencies, collapses, leaving them drowning in debt. The financial ruin forces a complete shift in his reality, stripping away the privileges he once took for granted. Hoping for some companionship, Shen Yuan approaches his old friends, suggesting they hang out. However, their attitudes have changed. One of them coldly reminds him that they were never that close, while another mockingly asks if he still thinks he's the same rich kid who could boss them around. As time passes, his so-called friends distance themselves, treating him like an outcast. Once surrounded by people, he now finds himself abandoned and alone. With his family now struggling in a cramped rental, Shen Yuan has no choice but to give up his independence and move back into the college dorms. Shen Yuan reflects on his downfall, realizing that the carefree days of luxury and privilege are long gone. With his family's financial ruin, he isn't even sure if he can live a stable life anymore. Just when he thought things couldn't get worse, a moment arrives that shatters him completely. Standing a short distance away, Zhu, wanting his current girlfriend, waits, phone in hand. She coldly delivers the final blow, telling him that their relationship is over. Without hesitation, she declares that they should stop contacting each other and that she hopes he finds someone else who understands him better. Shen Yuan is stunned. Everything he had, his wealth, his status, his friends, and now his relationship is crumbling right in front of him. Shen Yuan shocked that after 3 years together, Zhu Wanting is willing to end things so easily. He asks if she truly has no feelings left. She reminds him that their relationship was never about deep, unwavering love, it was built on passion and convenience. As she prepares to leave, she adds one last thing. She no longer wants to be called Ting. The name feels outdated to her. If they ever cross paths again, she doesn't want to be reminded of their past. Then, as if to erase any remaining connection, she delivers her final words, better yet, let's never see each other again. Without hesitation, she steps into a sleek black car, leaving Shen Yuan standing there. Shen Yuan, now composed, gives a faint smile. As she reaches for the car door, Shen Yuan suddenly stops her. She turns back, irritated, asking what more he could possibly want. Shen Yuan brings up the expensive designer bags he had bought for her over the years. Since their relationship is over, he suggests that she return them since she won't be needing them anymore. Zhu twists in disbelief before quickly turning into anger. She lashes out, accusing him of being petty and shameless. After 3 years together, all he had given her were a few bags, and now he wants them back. Shen Yuan tells her that if she can't return the bags, he doesn't even want the money, what matters now is reviving an old dream. Zhu Wanting, frustrated, she snaps and yells at him to go to hell before storming off. Just then, the older man pulls up in a luxury car, casually addressing her as Ting. He advises her not to waste her energy getting angry and even offers Shen Yuan a ride. Shen Yuan watches the interaction, finding it amusing. Not long ago, she told him that calling her Ting was outdated, yet she has no issue when this man does it. With a bitter smile, he politely declines the ride, stating that his place is nearby. The older man smirks as he tells Shen Yuan that he and Zhu Wanting have plenty of time, but what really concerns him is whether Shen Yuan can handle this blow. He mockingly offers to ensure that Shen Yuan gets home safely, as if pitying his situation. Shen Yuan, however, isn't one to let himself be looked down upon. He internally notes that if he doesn't stand up for himself now, Everyone will just think he's a fool. Within confident, he leans into the car window, brushing off the man's fake concern. He appreciates the offer, but insists that his place is nearby, no need for a ride. Before leaving, Shen Yuan adds one last remark, telling the man to take good care of Wanting, calling her a good girl. As the older man confidently reassures Shen Yuan that Zhu Wanting is in good hands. With a smirk, he casually starts listing intimate details about Wanting, her preferences, habits, and even what she likes to wear in private. Anger crosses his face as he realizes Shen Yuan is intentionally provoking him. He mutters that Shen Yuan is nothing but a talker. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan watches as the car speeds away, leaving him alone on the street. He stretches, feeling victorious in his own way, and wonders to himself maybe Zhu Wanting made the right choice after all. Shen Yuan brushes off the past, wishing Zhu Wanting well and hoping her choice leads to the perfect life she desires. With a casual gesture, he shields his eyes from the sun. But just as he embraces his newfound independence, something strange happens. Golden system materialize in front of him, displaying mysterious text, perfect life system initiating load. Confused, Shen Yuan stares at the floating display as data about him appears, his name, age, height, weight, and even his wealth and health statistics. Bewildered, he questions whether he's hallucinating, wondering why he's suddenly being labeled as a host. Before he can make sense of it, a system notification explains the rules of this bizarre new reality. To live a truly perfect life, he must not only acquire wealth, but also earn admiration specifically from women. His first task: spend money on a woman with high enough affinity and gain her admiration. If successful, he'll receive triple the amount he spends, and if her affinity increases further, the reward will double. However, there's a catch: the money must come from his own savings or cash. Shen Yuan struggles to process what's happening. A system that grants perks? It sounds ridiculous. Convinced he's hallucinating, he desperately tries to shake off the absurdity. Lai Xiao scolds him, reminding him that a real man shouldn't act so defeated over a simple breakup. She delivers what she calls the ultimate breakup advice: if it's over, it's over. The next one will be better. Shen Yuan is caught off guard by her bluntness. But then, something catches his eye. Above Lai Xiao's head, a number appears: affinity level 65. Realization dawns on him. The system isn't just real, it's already showing him potential targets. Shen Yuan finally realizes the truth: the floating numbers and system notifications weren't a hallucination. The perfect life system is real, and it's already displaying real-time information about people around him. Meanwhile, Counselor Lai Xiao encourages him to move on, flashing a warm smile and reminding him that things will get better. Shen Yuan quickly reassuring her that he's fine. Internally, though, he recognizes that this system might give him a serious advantage in life. Lai Xiao then brings up an important topic. She asks if he has considered applying for the scholarship she previously mentioned. Knowing his financial struggles, she urges him to submit his documents soon, emphasizing that it's one of the few ways she can genuinely help him. Shen Yuan politely declines the scholarship offer, reasoning that a few thousand yuan won't make a difference in his family's massive debt. He suggests the funds should go to someone in greater need. Before leaving, she warmly offers her continued support, even jokingly mentioning that he can come to her for advice, including relationship troubles. As she walks away, she reminds him that she's always available if he ever needs help. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan's mind shifts back to the perfect life system. He realizes that Lai Xiao meets the system's criteria for the active task: spending money on a woman with high affinity. If he completes it successfully, he'll receive a multiplied refund. Curious to see if the system truly works, he wonders why not test it out. Without hesitation, he gently grabs Lai Xiao's hand, stopping her from leaving. With a confident smile, he expresses his gratitude for her concern and insists on treating her to a milk tea as a small token of appreciation. Lai Xiao, slightly flustered, initially declines, but fumbles over her words when he insists. Shen Yuan hands her the drink. Lai Xiao hesitates for a second before accepting it, her face slightly flushed as she softly thanks him. Shen Yuan checks his bank balance and is stunned the system actually worked. After buying Lai Xiao a simple milk tea for 6 yuan, his account balance mysteriously jumped from 81 to 99 yuan, a multiplied refund exactly as the system promised. Excitement kicks in. He quickly realizes that as long as Lai Xiao's affinity level stays above 60, he could continuously spend money on her and keep earning multiplied refunds. If he plays his cards right, this system might be the key to turning his life around. Watching Lai Xiao walk away, he starts to see the bigger picture. This might be his chance to pay off his family's debts and even surpass his old lifestyle. Shen Yuan is determined. If he handles this correctly, he won't just regain his former glory, he'll be better than ever. Shen Yuan acknowledges a major limitation: his starting capital is too small. Even though the system allows him to multiply his money, he needs a bigger initial fund to truly take advantage of it. His priority now is to secure enough startup capital and find the right targets to spend on. Determined, he manages to gather 8,000 yuan in gold bars, 20,000 yuan from personal loans, and 20,585 yuan in business loans, adding it to his existing 99 yuan. His total funds now amount to 49,684 yuan, a solid amount to start testing the system on a larger scale. However, he knows he has to be strategic. In Lai Xiao's eyes, he is still just a struggling student from a bankrupt family. If he suddenly offers her an expensive gift, it could raise suspicion. He needs a subtle approach. 1 hour later, Shen Yuan holds up an expensive-looking handbag, a luxury item worth 39,800 yuan from this year's spring collection. However, his plan is clever. It's actually a high-quality knockoff. This way, Lai Xiao is more likely to accept it without suspicion, believing it to be an affordable gift rather than an extravagant one. He heads to her place, knocking on her door, but a thought crosses his mind: does she have a boyfriend? The door opens, revealing Lai Xiao in casual home attire, wearing an apron and holding a ladle. She seems surprised to see him and immediately asks why he's there. Shen apologizes for disturbing her and casually asks if she's in the middle of cooking. Shen presents a handbag to Lai Xiao, expressing gratitude for her care throughout his college years. He insists that her support has been invaluable and urges her to accept the gift as a token of appreciation. Lai Xiao, taken aback, immediately refuses, noting that the bag looks expensive. She reminds Shen that she is his professor and treats all students the same, making such a gift unnecessary. Shen quickly clarifies that the bag is just a cheap knockoff and insists that given his family's situation, he wouldn't be able to afford anything extravagant. He emphasizes that he simply wants to show his gratitude in some way and asks her to accept it. Seeing Shen's sincerity, Lai Xiao hesitates. She realizes that rejecting the gift outright might hurt him, so she reluctantly agrees to take it. However, she decides that she will repay the gesture on a special occasion, such as his birthday or a holiday. The aroma of food drifts through the air as a door slightly opens. Suddenly, Lai Xiao realizes that her stir-fry is burning and rushes to the kitchen in a panic. Shen Yuan walks in and notices the commotion. As Lai Xiao hurriedly tries to salvage her meal, she casually invites him to stay for dinner, asking if he has eaten yet. Shen Yuan hesitates, considering the situation. He assures her that as long as her boyfriend doesn't mind, he has no issue staying. Internally, he thinks about how remaining close will help him increase their affinity level and gain more rewards from the system. A moment later, a notification appears on his phone, confirming a significant deposit into his bank account. The bag's price, combined with a triple refund, nets him a significant profit. He marvels at the fact that, while he spent large sums before, this is the first time he's earned such an amount entirely on his own. Standing atop a rock, he basks in his success, celebrating youth, victory, and independence. Meanwhile, Lai Xiao calls Shen Yuan back to reality, telling him to sit down and eat. Shen, momentarily distracted, questions why it's just the two of them and asks about her boyfriend. Lai Xiao looks surprised, correcting him immediately she doesn't have a boyfriend. Shen Yuan steps forward, offering to help Lai Xiao. She hesitates, insisting it's unnecessary, but he moves closer, confidently reaching for the apron tied around her back. As he begins fixing the tangled knots, Lai Xiao unsure of how to react. Shen reassures her that he'll take care of it. Just then, Lai Xiao's younger sister, Lai Meng. She storms in with a suitcase, demanding to know what's going on. Shen Yuan quickly steps back, flustered, assuring Lai Meng that nothing suspicious is happening. Meanwhile, Lai Xiao tries to defuse the situation, inviting her sister to eat and questioning why she arrived so late. Lai Xiao formally introduces Lai Meng as her younger sister. Lai Meng still suspicious, while Shen Yuan awkwardly greets her, feeling an intense pressure from her cold gaze. Without wasting any more time, Shen quickly decides to escape the situation. He casually states that he already ate before coming and announces that he's heading back to college. Lai Xiao looks puzzled, questioning Shen Yuan's excuse, as it was clear he was about to eat just moments ago. Lai Meng, still suspicious, declares that Shen is definitely up to something. Lai Xiao brushes off the accusation, insisting that he's just a student. Lai Meng finds the situation outrageous, calling it bold for a student to try winning over his professor. Lai Xiao, however, dismisses her concerns and urges her to just focus on eating. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan walks through the bustling streets, deep in thought. He contemplates who he should invest his time and money in. While his relationship with Lai Xiao remains a professional one, she is different from others like Zhu Wanting, who only cares about wealth. Shen Yuan notices someone slumped over, seemingly distressed. As he gets closer, he realizes it's his roommate, Huang Heibao, and immediately asks what's wrong. Huang lifts his trembling hands, clearly shaken. With a devastated expression, he grabs Shen Yuan's hand and reveals the source of his misery. His beloved Fang Minhui went to the movies with Lai Zhanpeng. Shen Yuan observes Fang Minhui from a distance, acknowledging her reputation as the beauty of the international trade sophomore class. He internally notes that Huang Heibao has never even spoken to her, making his devastation seem exaggerated. With a smirk, he casually asks if that's all there is to the issue. Huang asks if he's being mocked. Shen, amused, tells him to take a proper look at Fang Minhui. As Huang turns, his eyes widen in shock. Fang Minhui is walking with another equally stunning woman, both dressed stylishly. Huang quickly reassures himself that she only went to the movies with Lai Zhanpeng and not somewhere more intimate, which means he still has a chance. Excited, he clings to hope, convincing himself that all is not lost. Shen Yuan watches Huang Heibao, amused by how desperate he is to win over Fang Minhui. Internally, he wonders how this will end for his friend, who seems to have lost all dignity over a girl who has never even acknowledged him. Just then, Shen notices something surprising. Fang Minhui's affection points toward him appear, and they are higher than Professor Lai's. Meanwhile, Fang Minhui and her friend are walking together when the friend casually brings up Shen Yuan, mentioning that he recently got dumped. This piques Fang Minhui's interest, and she repeats his name. Fang Minhui hesitantly offers a drink while reflecting on how she might have led someone on in the past. She regrets encouraging closeness with a particular guy during basic training at the start of the semester. Meanwhile, her friend comments on how rich guys tend to be arrogant, and even after Shen Yuan's family went bankrupt, he still carries himself with confidence. She concludes that it's a good thing Minhui never ended up with him. Otherwise, it would have been 3 wasted years. Shen, noticing his affection points dropping rapidly, grows concerned. He realizes he can't just sit back and do nothing. Determined, he turns to Huang Heibao and bluntly asks if he would be bothered if he ended up with Fang Minhui. Huang Heibao smirks, doubting Shen Yuan's ability to win over Fang Minhui, reminding him that he's no longer the wealthy guy he once was. However, he admits that as long as Minhui isn't with Lai Zhanpeng, he doesn't really care who she ends up with. Shen Yuan, hearing exactly what he wanted, grins and immediately declares that he's going to give it a shot. Huang is left in shock, questioning if he's really serious. Without hesitation, Shen Yuan calls out to Fang Minhui. Confused, she turns toward him. Before she can respond, her friend steps in defensively, demanding to know what Shen Yuan wants with Minhui. Shen Yuan confidently asks Fang Minhui if she's free tomorrow, inviting her to a dinner at Xing Sushi, a high-end restaurant. Minhui is surprised by the sudden invitation, while her friend immediately questions if Shen Yuan can even afford it, given the restaurant's expensive reputation. Shen smoothly follows up, suggesting that after dinner, they take a walk so she can help him pick a birthday gift for his sister. He casually asks her to let him know by noon the next day. Before she can respond, Shen Yuan waves and walks away, leaving Minhui standing there. Fang Minhui hesitates, feeling conflicted about going to dinner with Shen Yuan right after watching a movie with Lai Zhanpeng. Her friend dismisses her concerns, pointing out that it's high-quality Japanese food. Why overthink it? She adds that while Shen Yuan might be arrogant, he's at least good-looking, unlike Lai Zhanpeng, who only has money. If Shen Yuan's financial situation improves, he could easily surpass him. Encouraging Minhui further, her friend insists that there's no harm in going. It's just dinner and a stroll. She even offers to help with the reply. Eventually, Minhui gives in and agrees. The next evening, as the sun sets, Shen Yuan and Fang Minhui arrive at the restaurant together, walking side by side. As the waiter serves an exquisite meal, she politely welcomes Shen Yuan and Fang Minhui. presenting them with their menu for two. Minhui hesitates, bringing up Shen Yuan's financial troubles, questioning if he should really be spending so much on an expensive dinner. Shen Yuan reassures her, about to explain, but before he can, Minhui takes a bite and is immediately captivated by the flavor. She quickly decides it's worth the price. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan internally reminding himself to keep calm as he processes Minhui's unexpectedly receptive attitude. Minhui curiously asks Shen why he suddenly invited her to dinner, wondering if it was really just to pick a gift for his sister. Shen, sipping his drink, explains that he had always wanted to invite her but never found the right moment. As she processes his response, her affinity level visibly drops, making her hesitate before responding. Shen notices this and starts to panic internally, wondering why she isn't satisfied with his answer. Trying to recover, Shen smoothly recalls their past interactions during basic training. He reminds Minhui how she used to buy him drinks and chat with him at night. Minhui looks at Shen in surprise, touched that he remembers their past moments together. Her affinity level rises as she reacts warmly. Shen casually responds that there's no way he could forget, flashing a confident smile. Minhui blushes slightly, feeling flustered by his words, as her affinity level continues increasing. Shen reminds himself to stay calm. 40 minutes later, after finishing their meal, they head to the counter. The cashier informs Shen of the total bill, including a discount for being a member of the restaurant. Without hesitation, he acknowledges it and proceeds to pay. Minhui is shocked as she realizes the meal nearly cost an entire month's worth of her budget. Comparing Shen to her past experience with Lai Jianpeng, she recalls how stingy he was despite coming from a wealthy family, making Shen's generosity even more impressive. Meanwhile, Shen's phone vibrates with a notification. He checks the message and sees a reward deposited into his account. A glowing system prompt appears before him, revealing a special task: spend money on someone with high affinity and earn a multiplied refund. The higher the increase in affinity, the bigger the reward. Shen quickly calculates that Minhui's affinity level rose from 72 to 76, confirming he successfully triggered the bonus. Excited, he realizes that just one meal netted him a massive profit, making the whole experience feel like an easy win. Minhui finds herself growing more attracted to Shen, realizing that she likes being around him. She wonders if it's just the influence of money, but the feeling is undeniable. Holding Shen's hand, she reminds him that they still need to go shopping for his sister's gift. Shen follows along as they head to the mall together. At the shopping mall, Shen unexpectedly runs into someone from his past. The older man walking with Shen's ex notices him and immediately questions why he's there. The Shen's ex is shocked to see him. Just yesterday, he broke things off with her, and now he's already on a date with someone else. She finds it absurd that a supposedly poor student like Shen would even dare to spend money in such an expensive place. The man seethes with frustration, recalling how much effort and money he had to spend to win over Zhu wanting. Meanwhile, Shen, who supposedly has financial struggles, still manages to be surrounded by attractive women. Shen casually suggests to Minhui that they check out other stores. She happily agrees. However, the man smugly suggests that since they're already at a luxury store, Shen might as well come in and look around after all. Window shopping is free. Zhu wanting, on the other hand, is more direct, demanding to know who Minhui is and why Shen is here with her. Shen simply stating that he's here to buy a gift for his sister. The man sneers at Shen, mocking him by suggesting he should be shopping at a toy wholesale market instead of a high-end store. He questions whether Shen can even afford anything here. Zhu wanting steps forward and confronts Minhui, warning her not to be deceived by Shen. She insists that even though she doesn't know Minhui personally, she feels obligated to caution her. Shen unbothered, questioning why she's so concerned and who exactly he has fooled. The man smirks and tells Shen that he should be more respectful since wanting is his ex. He reminds Shen that everyone knows about his family's bankruptcy and debt, implying that Shen is just pretending to be rich. According to him, no one is laughing at Shen because they all know the truth. Shen looks at the couple in front of him with disdain, finding them utterly disgusting. Just then, a system notification appears before him, introducing a new limited time task. The objective is to spend money on a person of the opposite sex with an affinity level over 60 while also increasing the negative emotions of others. The rewards include a doubled refund on spending and a boost in rewards based on others' resentment. Seeing how perfect this situation is, Shen smirks. He initially planned to let them walk away without humiliation, but since they insisted on meddling, he sees no reason to hold back. With a confident stride, Shen takes Minhui's hand and leads her into the luxury store. The store employees notice Shen Yuan entering and quickly start discussing among themselves. Since he used to be a regular customer, one of them is told to handle him. However, the other hesitates, unwilling to serve someone they now see as a bankrupt ex-rich who just browses without buying. Reluctant to deal with him, the employee complains about being stuck with difficult customers while others get the high-spending clients. Her superior, however, doesn't give her a choice and orders her to go anyway. Meanwhile, Zhu Wanting confidently picks out an expensive item and casually asks Brother Jun to pay for it. The employee assisting Zhu Wanting responds immediately with a polite tone, preparing to process the purchase. Internally, though, she grumbles about the unfairness. Some get quality customers who buy without hesitation, while others get stuck with people who only waste their time. The sales assistant flatters Zhu Wanting, complimenting her taste and suggesting accessories that perfectly match her style. She makes a subtle dig at other customers, implying that some people lack a sense of fashion. She then presents additional accessories, explaining how well they go with the bag Zhu just chose. However, she warns that they are quite expensive, bringing the total to around 100,000 yuan. Meanwhile, another sales assistant presents a luxury teddy bear set to Shen and Minhui. Minhui hesitates, considering the price, but Shen reassures her not to worry about the cost. He encourages her to pick what she likes and suggests a youthful design that his sister would appreciate. The assistant assisting them looks at the price and comments on how the total exceeds 50,000 yuan. The man is stunned by the price, internally panicking over how extravagant Zhu Wanting's demands are. He had assumed a 20,000 yuan bag would be enough, but now she expects an entire luxury set costing 100,000 yuan. Wanting, however, is completely unconcerned and pressures him to pay, urging him to prove his worth as a boyfriend, especially with Shen Yuan watching. Jun sweats nervously, realizing he doesn't have enough money on his card to cover the purchase. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan casually orders both bags along with the expensive accessories that the sales assistant had recommended. Zhu Wanting and Brother Jun freeze in shock. The sudden shift leaves them utterly speechless. Minhui is stunned, covering her mouth in surprise. Meanwhile, the sales assistant, who had assumed Shen was broke, is completely taken aback. She can't believe he's not only buying the bags but also the expensive accessories. With a nervous expression, the assistant calculates the total 131,000 yuan. Shen casually hands over his card, paying for everything without hesitation. The sales assistant, now overwhelmed, quickly accepts the payment and rushes to prepare Shen Yuan's purchase. She had initially assumed assisting him would be a waste of time, but he turned out to be more generous than she ever expected, spending over 130,000 yuan in a single transaction. Meanwhile, Zhu Wanting, unable to contain her frustration, demands to know where Shen got all that money. She accuses him of being bankrupt and even questions if he took out a loan to afford his lavish spending. Shen dismissing her concerns with a smirk. He sarcastically suggests that since Brother Jun isn't broke either, he should go ahead and buy Zhu another bag. It's only 20,000 yuan, an amount that should be nothing for someone as wealthy as him. Brother Jun realizes he's trapped. Shen then mockingly adds that a man should have class and generosity, hinting at the luxury car Brother Jun owns, which must be worth at least 600,000 to 700,000 yuan. Zhu Wanting urges Brother Jun to prove his worth and not let Shen Yuan show him up. However, Jun is panicking internally. His expensive car was actually bought with a loan, and he can't afford to reveal the truth to Wanting. Jun suddenly grabs his phone, pretending to take an urgent call to escape the situation. Annoyed, Wanting calls after him, irritated by his sudden retreat. She then turns her attention back to Shen Yuan, giving a final dismissive remark before storming off. Shen watches them leave, smirking to himself. He notes that their negative emotion points have increased significantly, meaning his system task is successfully completed. Satisfied, he decides that arguing further isn't worth it. What matters is that he's won. Shen Yuan hands a gift to Minhui, but she hesitates, saying it's too expensive. He reassures her, explaining that it's just a bag and a small way to apologize for the rude comments she had to endure. Reluctantly, she accepts, thanking him. Before she can say much, Shen Yuan hands over even more shopping bags, surprising Minhui. Confused, she asks if these were meant for his sister. With a smirk, He admits that he's unsure if his sister would like them, but he knows for sure that Minhui would. Shen hands a gift bag to Fang Minhu, saying it's for her. She's surprised and hesitates, calling it too expensive. He casually tells her it's just a bag and insists she accept it as an apology for the harsh things others said about her. Minhu accepts it, thanking him. But Shen adds more bags, saying those are for her too. Shocked, she asks if they were meant for his sister. He admits he's unsure if his sister would even like them, but he's certain Minhu would. In his thoughts, Shen admits the bags were never meant for his sister. He planned to give them to Minhu from the start, just pretending otherwise to justify the refund. Fang Minhu feels nervous accepting all the expensive gifts, fearing it might make her look greedy. She hesitates, saying she can't accept them. Shen smiles and reassures her, saying it's only the beginning and they have more time ahead, asking her to accept so he won't feel bad. As they hold hands, the system activates, confirming Shen has completed a task that earns him emotional points and refunds. He successfully receives a large sum in his bank account, 6 times the amount he spent, as a reward for spending on the opposite sex. Shen looks at Fang Minhu warmly, thinking he must keep her happy since she's now his source of rewards. He reminds her it's getting late and suggests heading back to school. Though he's tempted to get closer, he decides not to rush things and lets them progress naturally. Minhu blushes, quietly impressed by Shen's respectful approach. She reflects on how different he is from others. Unlike Lai Zhanfeng, Shen didn't push her or mention anything inappropriate, even though the thought briefly crossed her mind. Later, back at the dorm, Shen's friends tease him, surprised he returned earlier than expected. Shen's dorm mates joke around, saying he should treat them to a fancy dinner to celebrate. One even suggests inviting the whole class for a party. Shen listens quietly as he enters his room. Inside, one of his roommates hears the loud bragging and realizes it's Lai Zhanpeng trying to show off after dating the class beauty. He gets annoyed, thinking it's meant to provoke them. He confidently responds that Lai's moment of fame won't last because Fang Minhu won't end up with him. One of Shen's roommates brings up Fang Minhu going to the movies with Lai Zhanpeng and mocks Shen, suggesting they might have done more. He adds that since she didn't go out with Shen today, it must mean she chose Zhanpeng instead. Shen stays silent. Later, Shen checks his account and sees he has enough money now. He decides to visit home the next day. At home, his uncle Shen Yaod warmly welcomes him back. Shen greets his uncle after arriving home. As the adults talk, one of the women asks Shen to step aside while she discusses something important with his uncle. Inside the room, Shen overhears his uncle asking for more time to repay a debt, promising partial payment soon. But the other man insists he needs the full amount urgently. Frustrated, Shen's mother steps in and reminds Shen Yaod how they once helped him with a loan of 300,000 yuan when he had nothing. Now, after lending him 200,000 yuan more, he keeps pressuring them repeatedly, which she finds unfair. His mother confronts the uncle, arguing that he has no real financial emergency. She says she even asked his wife and confirmed it. But his father defends himself, saying it's normal to expect repayment and that he's being patient only because they're family. The mother gets angrier, accusing him of being ungrateful and asking why they ever helped him in the first place if he'd turn around and pressure them like this. Her husband steps in, telling her to stop arguing. He suggests selling any gold jewelry. If needed, they can always replace it later. For now, paying off the family debt should come first. As the family argument continues, a new task is triggered for Shen. He must help repay the family's debts. The reward will multiply his payment by 2 and grant a bonus if he completes it. Shen is relieved the task appeared at the perfect time, though he already intended to help. Meanwhile, his aunt brings out the jewelry she had kept safe, saying it can be taken now to cover part of the debt. Outside the room, Shen remembers selling 2 of his mother's rings during his first year of college to buy a gift. He quietly feels ashamed, reflecting on his past mistakes. Shen rushes into the room, telling his parents he has money. His father dismisses it, thinking Shen is joking, and tells him to save whatever little he has for school meals. Shen awkwardly insists he's serious, and just then, a transfer notification sound rings out. His parents check and are stunned to see 200,000 yuan in the account. Shocked, they ask Shen where he got such a large amount of money. Shen quickly comes up with a story, claiming he invested his allowance in cryptocurrency with a friend and just cashed it out. He hopes the excuse sounds believable. His parents are amazed and relieved, calling him incredible for helping them out. they immediately decide to pay off the debt. Later, they inform Shen Yeod that the debt is fully cleared and bluntly tell him to leave. Shen's mother even suggests cutting off contact between their families. Shocked and awkward, Shen Yeod tries to respond, but is left speechless. Shen's mother angrily yells at Shen Yeod to leave, making it clear he's no longer welcome. Embarrassed and pressured, he rushes out of the house. As he walks away, he wonders how Shen's family managed to repay everything so quickly. He suspects they've started a profitable business and might be doing well again. Frustrated, he regrets coming at all. Knowing how he acted today, he fears there's no way to maintain a relationship with them in the future. Shen receives a system notification confirming the reward for his first debt payment, 600,000 yuan refunded and 1 million yuan credited for car expenses. His account balance now exceeds 2 million. Although excited, he knows there's still a long way to go to fully clear the family's debt. He realizes giving away all the money now wouldn't be wise, so he decides to use the capital to grow his wealth instead. He calculates that he can afford to offer his dad 200,000 yuan and asks if that amount is urgently needed. Shen's mother steps in, saying the remaining debts aren't urgent, so the money can be saved for now. But his father quickly changes his mind and asks Shen to hand over 50,000 yuan first. He smiles, feeling amused by how his dad's behavior mirrors how he himself used to act when asking for money. It brings back memories, and he reflects on how amusingly similar they are, proof that genetics really is something. He returns to school and is immediately noticed by a girl, who excitedly calls out to the teacher about his arrival. The female instructor walks over and tells Shen there are no classes that afternoon. Seizing the opportunity, Shen casually asks if she's free for dinner, mentioning he wants to repay her kindness from before. His unexpected invitation catches her off guard, and her eyes gleam with surprise and curiosity. Just as Shen invites the teacher to dinner, her sister Fang Minhu suddenly appears, furious and calling out Lai Meng's name. Shen freezes, clearly caught off guard and internally panicking. He explains to himself that the teacher's sister is basically his nemesis. Nervously, he makes an excuse about being busy with school and quickly runs off, canceling the dinner plan on the spot. Fang Minhu scolds her sister, insisting Shen had bad intentions, but her sister downplays it, saying it was just dinner and nothing more would have happened anyway. Meanwhile, Shen, sweating from the heat, recalls the comfort of driving with the AC on and Zhu wanting by his side. The memory brings him peace. He suddenly remembers the system rewarded him with funds specifically for buying a car. Realizing it'd be a waste not to use it, he decides it's time to make that purchase. Shen messages Fang Minhu asking if she's free to go check out cars with him. She agrees, saying she has no classes that afternoon. Later, while picking clothes, her friend teases her for going car shopping with Shen, joking that their relationship is moving fast. Minhu blushes and denies they're a couple, saying nothing has happened yet. The friend laughs and says Minhu is lucky to have found someone rich and handsome like Shen, and playfully adds that it might be Shen's turn to fall next. Minhu feels frustrated while changing outfits, but eventually gets ready and heads to the dealership with Shen. At the showroom, a salesman welcomes them and asks what car model they're interested in. Suddenly, a familiar voice calls out to Minhu in surprise. She turns and recognizes him. It's Qin Yang, her senior from high school who once had a crush on her. She's shocked to run into him here. Qin Yang asks Minhu who the guy with her is. Before she can respond, Shen calmly introduces himself as her classmate. Shen then shifts the conversation back to cars, telling the salesman they want to see the MQ model. The salesman points to the display and mentions they can even sit inside to check it out. Internally, Qin starts judging Shen. Seeing his simple clothes, he assumes Shen can't afford the car and suspects he's just trying to impress Minhu. Qin Yang stares at Minhu, still smitten and thinking she's as stunning as ever. He recalls how she used to be his dream girl. Now, confident in his new status, he imagines himself as a successful man with wealth and appeal, believing women like her would naturally choose someone like him. Trying his luck, Qin invites Minhu to catch up that evening. She politely turns him down, saying she already has other plans. Meanwhile, Shen, sitting confidently in the car, asks Qin to arrange a test drive. Qin gets irritated internally, feeling Shen is ruining his moment with Minhu. He lies, saying the test car isn't available because the boss took it. Shen, unfazed, calls out the lie. He mentions seeing the MQ parked outside and demands someone capable if Qin can't help. He walks over to the reception and firmly asks for a different salesperson. A stylish woman named Chen Na arrives, introducing herself as a sales consultant. Shen pauses, slightly stunned by her appearance.